Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Giant Mouse Ace Iona. Very excited to get my hands on one of these. The first run of them went out pretty darn quick, and I think there's still some available in the green. It comes in either this kind of navy blue or a green with either this cool satin blade or a stonewash. This is the configuration that I wanted, and I missed out on it. And a lovely viewer was nice enough to send it to me. His name is Brian. He's my new best friend now, even though he spells his name with an I instead of a Y, as the good Lord intended. But we'll forgive him for that. But very, very cool knife. Giant Mouse, if you have not heard of them before, this is the first Giant Mouse product I have reviewed. Giant Mouse is a collaborative between Jens Anso and Jesper Voxnaes, and you guys know from previous videos, big fan of Jesper Voxnaes. So anything he's involved with, I'm probably going to want to mess with. The Ace line now is their new production line. The actual full-on Giant Mouse knives, they do unlimited runs, and when they're done, they mean it. They're done, and they never bring them back. So they do like runs of like 300, and they're gone, and that's it. And I've never managed to get my hands on one. The Ace line, the first, this is the second in the Ace line. The first one was the Biblio, which was kind of a way to, in a way, bring back one of their previous FM models, but it was still quite a bit different. And this is not. This is just complete clean sheet of paper design, and it's pretty awesome. It's $99, which for a Giant Mouse is very inexpensive, and it's M390. Which is pretty impressive for 99 bucks. And getting a Giant Mouse for 99 bucks is also super impressive. So this is a huge budget knife, and I guess not budget. It's not huge at all, but it is an amazing budget knife that they got it in at that price. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's a very big coup for them to get in at this price. There's a couple ways you can see how they did, and we'll get to that as the review goes on. But very, very cool design. Made in Italy. It is not made in China or anything like that, so even more impressive. Let's do some stats before we get too much farther. You have an overall length of 7 inches, blade length of 2.88 inches. You have a blade thickness of 0.12 inches, handle thickness of 0.5, and a weight of, I weighed it in right at like 2.55 ounces, so pretty darn light. And it has a little under 3 inch, so it's a very good lightweight EDC kind of size. And they did a whole lot of things to keep it that light. Let's do some size comparisons here, and then we'll move on and talk more about all those individual things. First up, we will compare it to, there's your steel wheel mini cut jack, 3 inch. You can see it's very similar in size to that. Once I move them into the camera frame, very similar to that, maybe just a tick longer. Your Ontario Rat Model 2, very similar in size to that. A standard of ours, the good old Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Yeah, it's quite a bit smaller than that. You can see it's not a small knife, but it's a fairly small knife. And here's a knife that I'm bringing out solely because it reminds me of it a lot in a lot of ways. And even though this is a bit of a bigger knife, it's not hugely larger. And I think I'm going to have to do a battle to the death with these two because price-wise and weight-wise and stuff, they're really similar. The Benchmade Bug Out. Yeah, I think those two are screaming for a comparison. Let me know down below if you think so, because this is only like 15 bucks more. So yeah, all right. Let's talk more about this design-wise. So it's an interesting design as far as how they build it. You have a full liner on one side. That's just for the liner lock, obviously, and then there's a small little bit of steel over here that ends on the show side, that ends with that little stop pin there, and that's it. There's just that one little bit there, and the rest of it is all this FRN. It's not bad FRN, I gotta say. It's fancy plastic, as I always call when you call FRN, GFN, Grivex, whatever kind of name you want to put on it. It's just fancy plastic, but it looks all right. It's it's always going to be controversial. As far as it just seems like when you use FRN, whatever pattern you put on it, people love it or hate it. We'll see how people feel about this. I wasn't blown away by it in photos. I like it better in person. It's still not awesome, but it's not bad, and it actually is pretty functional, as we'll get to. This back spacer is actually glued to this side, so when you take it apart, this whole, it's super easy to take apart. 3 8 mils or 8 mils, a T8 Torx. They come right apart. Works great. Nice deep carry wire pocket clip, and obviously a knife this light, all you need is a little wire pocket clip like that. M390, as I said, runs on phosphor bronze washers. Nice little liner lock in there. The quality of it is really good. Got it just about perfect lockup. Favors a bit to the show side as far as the centering goes, but that's partly me because I wanted to loosen it up a little bit. As it came out of the box, it was working fine and it centered fine, and it probably would have broken that way if I was patient, but I'm not patient. So when I tore it apart to take a look at the construction of it, and when I put it back together, I loosened up the pivot just a little bit, and now it favors to that one side, but it's not bad. Overall, yeah, it's really, I kind of like the look of it. I liked it when I first took it out of the box, and then it's kind of grown on me. So yeah, it's pretty darn cool, I have to say. A very interesting design. It doesn't look innovative at first, but the more you look into it, you're kind of like, oh, it kind of is. Like even down inside, I don't know if you can see like the one little standoff there. They kind of milled out for it and stuff. It's super easy to take apart and put together. It's a very good serviceable knife. It's one that's going to last you a really long time. Bronze washers, and it's super easy to work on. All right, I think I've rambled on enough about that. Let's talk about this blade. It's pretty awesome. This is definitely the best part of this knife. Not only is it M390, not only is it a pretty thin blade stock, not only is it just a simple drop point design with a really nice robust tip on it, it's also only 17 thousandths behind the edge. It's a full flat grind, or nearly full flat grind, and it is laser sharp out of the box. It's got the sharpening choil goes far enough to actually be done properly. Yeah, love the blade on this thing. It is fantastic. You can say, oh, I don't want plastic handles all you want, but this blade alone, if it came with some string wrapped around it in the back, it's worth the $99. It's a great blade. It's really, really good. Very, very impressed with that. Ergonomically, also, I think it works pretty good. Again, I have large size hands and skinny fingers, and it fits my hand very, very well. You can feel the pocket clip, but I'm not going to call it a hot spot. You can see it does stick up quite a bit, but it's comfortable, but you can feel it. It is kind of odd, but it doesn't hurt at all. And the texturing here works really well to keep it locked in your hand really good. I do wish there was some jimping somewhere. I know Voxnays is really fond of putting jimping farther up the blade. I kind of wish he'd have done that on this. It would be really nice to have his signature little jimping right here. But alas, it is not there. But other than that, it's pretty good ergonomically. You can feel some sharp-ish edges, not just like all you do on a Delica or the Bug Out or anything like that. They're not anything that's going to really bother you, but you do notice they're there. As far as carry goes, pretty good. I was really worried this was going to be a pocket destroyer from looking at the pictures and other people's videos of it. Actually, not that many videos of it out yet, but it isn't bad. These aren't super sharp, and going in and out of the pocket, I didn't feel like it doesn't slide effortlessly in and out like a titanium frame lock does or something, but it works pretty darn good. It's not bad at all, and the clip itself is excellent. Tension's really good, as you can see. Carries very deeply. Here, we'll show you so you can see, because this is always putting a knife in pants that aren't on you is always definitely the way to see whether or not. See, it's not bad at all. Let's slide over there. Not bad. A little grippiness, but not too bad at all. Action, I really like it. It reminds me a whole lot of an Ontario Rat, which is kind of similar construction, so that's not unsurprising. But it's that, thumb stud kind of snappy phosphor bronze action. Yeah, it reminds me a whole lot of that. This may be not quite as smooth as the Rat is, but it's darn close. And that time I failed it. I will say the thumb studs themselves, a little sharp. They're not horrible, but they are a little sharp. Just something to note there if I want to be nitpicky. So my overall conclusion is $99. This thing is pretty darn great. I mean, companies are charging a lot more for a lot less, that's for sure. And when this is another one of those knives, I wish I still had one here, but I got rid of it. But another one of those knives, when you look at a Delica for, $75, that's very similar construction, and you can pay $25 more and get M390. In my opinion, a Slicey blade, do that. Do that. And you look at the bug out, it's $15 more. S30V, it's got a lot more going on, deployment and design wise and all that stuff. So that's more of a fair comparison, but still, $99 for M390. Yeah, that's pretty great, and a really just excellent design. And it's a giant mouse, so there's a little bit of a cachet to that if you're a knife nerd. So hope you guys have enjoyed this review of this very, very cool knife. You will be seeing this again later. As I said, I'm probably going to do a comparison with the bug out. And I don't know. You might be seeing it in one of my end of year lists. We'll see. I'm still kind of banging those out, trying to figure out what to do with them. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.